That brings us to new business, item E1, consideration of an award contract authorization for Nags Cove. That'll be David.
Good morning, Mayor, Board of Commissioners.
Morning.
So on December 2nd, we received bids for the old Nags Cove water main replacement. We're looking at approximately three miles of water main replacement throughout the neighborhood. We have received 3 bids from 3 separate utility contractors, 2 local contractors, and 1 contractor out around the Raleigh area. The bids were structured in such a way that we had 3 different installation methods. We had pipe bursting, we had horizontal directional drill, and open cut. We had 2 separate time periods for construction. We had a spring time frame and also a fall time frame. And so the bidders could bid on any one of the installation methods and for either one of the time periods. So what I'd like to do before I get into the request is to just give a brief overview of the project. So up here on the screen, we have an overview of the old Nags Cove neighborhood. And if you can see, go ahead and zoom in a little bit. The lines in red represent the proposed alignment for the water line. This is the alignment for either the horizontal directional drill or the open cut. The alignment is different than what is existing. What exists is a combination of 6-inch and 2-inch lines throughout the neighborhood, and they are located on the opposite side of the street. So this proposed project wants to keep the existing water in service while we're under construction. So we start here at 158 with a 8-inch tap. We have an 8-inch line that runs down Old Cove Road on the north side and then takes a 90-degree turn down Cobia Way on the east side and runs all the way through to the south and to the west for a proposed connection through the Nags Head Links golf course over to Links Drive. That is the existing route right now as it currently exists by trying to provide a loop connection which gives you your best water flow dynamics within the system. So this is Sandpiper Terrace, which is a continuation of Cobia Way, comes down, hits Roanoke Way, and then is a line through the golf course underneath the cart path, and then connects over to Links Drive, which is over here on the right-hand side of the screen. There are also branch lines that are going to be installed here on the lower side of the screen. This is Roanoke Way and Blue Marlin Way. The proposed alignment is on the west side of each one of those streets. There's also a connection through Albacore, which runs from west to east, through Pamlico Way, and then also to each one of these cul-de-sacs here as shown on the screen. So it encompasses about 168 driveways with 300 services. So it's a pretty large-scale project, and it's pretty complex. And so when we received bids, we looked at the 2 different methods, and with the low prices that were submitted, Envirotech Unlimited Construction Services submitted the lowest price for open cut, and they also submitted the lowest price for horizontal directional drill. The price for the open cut was below our budget, and so we're well within the current and allowable budgeted funds for the project. What staff would like to do is look at ways on how we could potentially reduce further impacts. We acknowledge the fact that open cut is probably the most invasive installation method, and so we think that there are some efficiencies that can be achieved by looking at maybe a hybrid with looking at concentrated areas where we could potentially do some drilling to reduce some of those impacts. And I think the other efficiency that we can potentially achieve is take a look at those areas where we open cut, especially across driveway aprons, maybe provide something that is a little bit more user-friendly than what is currently designed. Right now, the way that it's structured, there's a 2.5-foot wide trench, so each driveway there would be a 2.5-foot wide cut in order to achieve that waterline installation. We think by going ahead and widening that and creating more of an apron that could be replaced with this construction, I think in the end it's going to look nicer, and I think that the residents are going to be a little bit more pleased with the outcome and look of that finished product. So the request today is to authorize the town manager to enter into the construction contract, and that would be for a bid amount not to exceed $1,378,208, and that would be to Envirotech Unlimited Construction Services for that amount, and this is for the open cut installation method. So I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have pertaining to the project. I did want to note that we have reached out to the golf course and Club Corp. So we've been speaking to them for the past 6 months. There's going to be an easement that needs to be widened from what currently exists. We have passed that along to them for their review. We've also reached out to the old Nags Cove POA representatives so they can canvass some of the other board members, as well as speak to one of the residents in there who has offered to serve up as a liaison. Our path in moving forward would be to go ahead and send out notices to each one of the affected property owners in the neighborhood, and then set up a virtual meeting so we could go ahead and give an overview of the project and set up expectations on what to expect during the course of construction. We would anticipate that to occur in early January. The contractor, in speaking with them, they are ready to move on this project and could start as soon as mid-January. We would like to just make sure that we give enough advance notification and address as many homeowner concerns up front as we can.
All right, thank you. For questions, I'm going to start on this end because it's Mike's neighborhood, and I want to hear from you last.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any questions?
You had just talked about how holding a virtual meeting. I hope that if there's some residents back there that may not be able to remotely join in on a meeting, that there's a way to reach out to them, that they just don't have one option to ask questions.
Yes, sir. We would be glad to go ahead and meet with people individually to go ahead and discuss their direct impacts to their properties. And I think as long as we can constantly communicate with those board members, with the liaison, we can try to address as many people's concerns as possible.
I remember from talking to the manager yesterday afternoon, we're thinking that the majority of the project could be done and could possibly be completed by the spring.
Yes, and right now the way that the bid and the project manual are structured, they're given a 7 to 8 month time frame to complete construction. In speaking with the low bidder, he thinks that they can do it within the 5 to 6 month time frame. So I think what we would like to do is we would like to utilize the existing verbiage in the contract, which says that it establishes a completion date of May 20th. And then they would go ahead and be able to commence in September 15th. What we would like to do is evaluate their progress, let's say in April, see how far along they are, and we may come back to the board at that time with potential time extension if they could get it done within the June timeframe and before we hit the peak summer season.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, thank you, Renee.
David, as part of the project, with all the driveway cuts that are going to occur, people will still be able, I'm sure that their driveways are not going to be unusable for a week at a time.
No, so how this would be structured is they would go ahead, they would cut, and then they would fill that in with temporary gravel. And they would install the water line, replace it, and what they would like to do is sequence it so they look at it like in 2,000-foot segments. So you would go ahead, install the first 2,000 feet, they would come back, get that line into service, and then restore that entire area before they moved on to the next section.
Thank you.
Good. All right, thank you.
So David, I spoke to several people that would prefer this project to start to finish, and I know that's why you're saying that we, look at it in April and see where it is. As, from my point, the money that you're wanting us to authorize, with my understanding of using both lateral, what's that called, lateral? Directional cut and
Open cut.
open cut, is that enough to do that? At the same time, are you going to be coming back to us?
Yes, and thank you. I forgot to mention that point, and that's a key point. What we would like to do, and we've been working with the contractor about a potential hybrid option. So we're asking the board today to authorize the base bid amount just for the open cut. As we work with the contractor to figure out what these additional costs are for the driveways, as well as looking at areas where we can take advantage of horizontal directional drill, we would want to come back at a future meeting with a change order request. And that could be as soon as the January meeting. And when we look at it, we're going to be looking at doing that within the allowable budgeted funds.
And the route in which all this is taking place, there is a lot more in this neighborhood, a lot more landscaping that you're going to be dealing with on that side of the road versus the other side where the water line currently is. Have we set aside anything to address how we're going to handle that? Would that be that second option? Because in talking to some folks as early as yesterday, they've got stonework, mulch work, and multiple bushes right where you're proposed to cut through. So, we set to deal with that financially and respectively to these citizens?
We have. So right now, we've looked at the alignment, and we've looked at those above-ground interferences, and we have come to the conclusion that we're going to make field adjustments in order to minimize those above-ground impacts. In addition, those areas that we are currently looking at have those concentrated areas where we have landscaping, where we have trees. So, for instance, up here on the screen, and I don't know if you can see the cursor, but starting here at Sandpiper Terrace, that we would be looking at doing a horizontal directional drill all along this length, all the way down till we hit Roanoke Way. We would also be looking at doing horizontal directional drill in this area right here along Blue Marlin Way, and then the same down here for Roanoke Way. There's some significant landscaping in here, especially right here at the street returns, both here at the intersection of Roanoke and Sandpiper Terrace, as well as Blue Marlin and Sandpiper Terrace. So we're looking to preserve those areas and try to account for any trees or any above ground items like bulkheads that may interfere. Are we going to be able to take care of all those? No. But I think that we can take care of a majority of them. Excuse me. Right, and we want to ensure that we have a contingency available to us within the budget to account for some of those items that we may need to provide some additional restoration efforts above and beyond what we would typically incur.
So, thank you, Dave.
Thank you. All right, well, good. All right, thank you, David. And so I've lost it. So if you'll repeat the amount, or if somebody has that in front of them and is ready to make a motion.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we award the contract to Envirotech Unlimited Construction Services LLC, and a contract not to exceed $1,378,208.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, excellent. Look forward to this thing happening.